Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great week this week. For us, it's just the opposite of last week. Last week, we started out strong and we just kind of limped into the end of the week. Well, this week, we kind of limped into the beginning of the week and we finished this week strong, kind of made it respectable. But we're going to talk about that here in a minute. I want to address an issue. I get a lot of questions about me, because I scale out and I trade with smaller share size. The big question is, do I worry about how my commission costs cut into my profit? And the reality is, and what I tell everybody is that if you're trading correctly, if you're trading viable trade plans that are well thought out and have factored in these costs ahead of time, it's an afterthought. It's not even a thought right now. Commissions are a cost of doing business. And yeah, there are discount brokers and all of that to where you can get different commission costs. But you have to look at your situation. If you are a trader that you live in the United States, you have less than $25,000 to trade with, and you want to day trade, your options of a broker are extremely limited. And these brokers are going to exploit that. That's their business model. And you can't fault them for that, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you would probably be doing the same thing because of the risk involved. There's more risk of them dealing with, very inexperienced traders with very little money trying to come in and get rich quick. It's very risky for them. And all you have to do is just think about if you're going to buy a house and you have a low credit score. Let's say your credit score is in the low 600s. And you're going to buy a house. You're not going to be able to take advantage of those 3%, interest rates. Your interest rate for your home that you're looking to buy could be 12, 15, 18%. And you can cry, bitch, moan, and complain about it. But whoever the mortgage broker is, they're going to tell you, well, you either want the house or you don't. If you want the house, this is what you can get it for. If you don't like it, you won't have the house. Same way with a car. If you go to buy a car and you go to these dealers that are offering these 0% interest, and you go there and you got a 600 credit score, they have people that will, finance the car for you. But you're going to pay 18 to 24%. And they're going to tell you, hey, if you want the car, this is what it's going to cost you. And it's all because of risk. The risk that these businesses will incur. But when you look at commissions, and we're going to talk about, we're going to use SureTrader as an example, because that's who I started with. That's the account that I stream every day in chat. And you guys see every trade. You get to track it every day, day by day. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want you to believe what I tell you. I want you to believe what you see every day as to the fact that you can make money. You can trade smaller share size and you can make money trading with SureTrader. This commission fee, excuse my French, ain't shit when you factor in the money you can make trading. If you do your trade plans the right way, you plan for enough profit in that trade where this doesn't even matter. Commissions are a cost of doing business. And you have to understand that. What kills a lot of new traders is they never go through any type planning or any type business plan for their trading. And if you don't go through a trading business plan, you will not know what costs you're up against. You know, it's not that you just put money in a broker and you can trade and there's no other cost associated with it. So all of these things you need to know up front. And that's why I started this roadmap to success with business planning. No, you may not be ready to start your business now, but if you start the business planning phase, you're going to know up front what your cost of doing business is. And based on that, you'll be able to determine when you can start and whether you need to save up some money just to start trading. Because you're not going to make enough money to start off with to fund your trading business. You're not. And I'm going to tell you, I answer every email unless somebody types in the wrong email for me to respond to, you know, in my contact form. I respond to every email. There's one email that I do not respond to. It's when people email me saying they want to join, but, you know, they'll pay me once they make, you know, money trading. That they don't have enough money to open a trading account and join the service and learn. You know, so I got tired of telling people, then don't start trading. Save up some more money, because you're going to need to figure out how much you're going to have each month in order to maintain your business. If you don't have enough money to do that, don't start. You know, it's just that simple. Don't start. Wait until you get it. Or the first thing you should be doing is learning before you even think about putting money in an account to trade. And this is definitely not something that you want to start from square one trying to learn this while you're trying to trade. You got to get some fundamentals and some foundation under you. You got to get what I talked about earlier this week. You got to get that ABC information down. And then you can start looking at implementing it. You know, but I'm sorry, I went off on a wrong tangent here. But the point I'm trying to make is commissions are cost of doing business. As long as you factor in this into your trading, it's going to be fine. You're going to be really fine. And I'm proving that to you every day. If you look at what I do and follow me, you see I'm proving to you every day that you can make a profit, you can grow your account, and you can trade your way out of SureTrader, you know, within a year and a half. You can do it. You just have to be disciplined and develop that right mindset. You know, you should be learning that in the roadmap to success. If you're doing it the right way, you should be learning it. So just look at this real quick. They say this is simple pricing. It ain't simple to me. But you know, I'm a simple guy. I know simple. This isn't simple. But they have a per share rate, and then they have a per trade minimum. So if I'm trading with 300 to 500 shares, I'm never gonna get any more than this. It's not gonna be any more or any less than $4.95. Now, as you'll see, you know, I get $1 rebate off of this because I've been with them so long. A couple years ago, they actually gave it to me. I could probably negotiate it down some more if I wanted to. But no matter what you do, this is all it's going to be. If you trade 0 to 500 shares, you're not going to pay any more than this right here. All right, and they do have a per trade maximum of $50, and that's pretty good because when I first got fooling around with the market and opened a brokerage account, that was back in the late 80s, early 90s when I was working at AutoZone, and they gave us stock options when they went public. They would give, for bonuses for the first several years, they would give managers stocks. And, that was pretty cool, which I really love it now. I love it at this point. But they, whenever I would go in to say sell something, say I wanted some money, excess money, it went up. It's like, I think my average when I left AutoZone was like maybe $30 or $32 or something. So yeah, when the stock got up to $100, I wanted to sell some of it. And that trade, just for me selling it, cost me over $100. So this is really, really good now. And there's some people that I've heard it was like, it would cost them over $1,000 or $2,000 to just make one transaction. So it's crazy. So this is not bad at all. Now, yeah, if you compare it to Lightspeed, you compare it to IB, you compare it to Speed Trader, yeah, this is more expensive. But the question is, do you have the money to open up one of those accounts? If the answer is no, then why the hell are you worrying about it? You can't do a damn thing about it at this point. The only thing you could do is buckle down, learn how to trade, and trade your way out of SureTrader or CME Group or Alliance Trader, or if you're in a prop firm, trade your way out of that. Stop worrying about what other people have and focus on what you can do and make it happen. It's like those guys that, have bad credit and they buy their car. That car payment, if they are on time for a couple of years, their credit rating gets higher, they can go back and get another car. They're not going to pay that same fee anymore. Same thing with a house. You pay it on time for 5 years, 8 years. You go back and refinance it, you're going to get a better rate. But you got to work your way to that point. Same thing with SureTrader or CME Group or Alliance or whoever you're with. The only way to get out of that is not to complain about all of this, is to learn what you have to do to navigate it and trade your way the hell out of it. That's the only way it's going to happen. Unless you have a fairy godmother that's going to give you $30,000 to add to what you got, so you can open up a traditional broker. Now, I know overseas guys, I know some of them have $295 and $195 minimum per trade. If you're a non-U.S. citizen, they will work with you a little bit better. But if you're a U.S. citizen, they know our hands are tied. We're limited to what we can do. So they're not going to work with us that much. And like I say, I can't fault them for it. They have to do what they have to do. But I'm going to damn sure do what I have to do, to make it happen for me. So this rate, this is pretty much where everybody's at. So if you look at that, every time you take a trade, it's $4.95 plus you've got some FRNA fee and some other fee they got. So on average, $5.25 to $5.50 per trade is what you're going to have to pay. If you are not profitable because you can't make $10, $11, or $12 per trade, something's wrong. Okay, it's not the commission cost that's keeping you from making money. It's you. It's how you're trading. It's the strategy you're trading. It's your inability to execute. Whatever it is, you got to look yourself in the mirror and understand, hey, it's you. And there's some people that may not like me saying that, but believe me, it took somebody telling me to look in the mirror and ask myself what the hell the problem was for me to start doing what I needed to do. All right, so I wanted to point that out. That's just how cheap it is. So let's look at my trades from yesterday. All right, this is one of the best features that SureTrader came up with in the last couple of years. I mean, it was honestly, it was hell dealing with them in the first couple of years. But they are trying to, do a little bit. So let's look at Lulu here. I had 8 tickets on Lulu. And I had some wins and losses in there. So I only ended up with 87.75. Okay, bad trading. The reason why I only ended up with a true P&L of 53.59 on this ticker is bad trading. I can't blame SureTrader and their commissions as to why I didn't make money. It's because I didn't trade it worth the crap. I took a little bit of a chance on a trade, ended up losing on it, and had to fight back. So yeah, when you start adding tickets to a trade that you shouldn't have had to add tickets to, it's your fault. So it's my fault that I didn't trade worth crap. So let's break it down and you can see. Okay, so you can see I get the dollar rebate. My commissions are $3.95, but it doesn't factor in until everything clears at midnight. That's when it shows up that I get the dollar rebate. So I actually, got $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8 back off of this at the end of the night. But I just want you to see, this is how little insignificant this can be if you trade it the right way. $3.95 commissions and then trade fee here. I think trade fee 1 only happens when you sell. And so you had 30 cents here. And let's say this is $4.95, just for the sake of argument here. This is $4.95. And you add 30 cents to it. What's that, $5.25? That's all that one ticket cost me, $5.25. And if you're trading and you're not able to make $11 profit, let's just round it up to 11. There's something wrong. Now, if you lost and you got stopped out, that's one thing. But if you didn't get stopped out, and let's say you took the trade off for $10, and you end up not making any money, or you've taken 15 trades and you've made $50, but you're negative because you ran up commissions, it's not your broker's fault that you don't have any money. It's not. Because if you had traded correctly, you would have money. But we just have to accept the responsibility. I'll do it. I accept my responsibility for it. And you guys have to accept it on your own. But I guess I got too many questions about that this week. And, complaints about how, these brokers, not just SureTrader, it was CME Group, even though I think they may be a little bit cheaper. But no matter what, if you're paying $5 a trade or ticket and you're not making money, then there's something wrong with your trading. That's where you need to focus. Not bashing the broker. So, how can you win with day trading commissions like that? And we're talking about a simple, small, $5.50 to $6 per trade. Don't trade penny stocks. That's the worst thing you can do with these type of brokers. They want you to trade penny stocks. They love it. That's why they give you all of that margin to allow you to use it or they'll restrict it, if they're scared you're gonna blow up. But they give you that margin so you can trade these penny stocks. And remember, I know it's 1 cent a share. Everybody's gonna fall in that 0 to 250,000 share traded, window. So if let's say you got $10,000 of 10,000 shares of a 25-cent stock, you're probably going to pay around $150 in commissions. But if the trade works out in your favor, you can make money. But how much on average does a 25-cent per share stock move? Not very much. So even if you have 10,000 shares, that stock's gonna need to move in order for it to make you some money. But I say do not trade penny stocks, because the share size has to be enormous, and you may end up over trading. All right, next, you want to account for your commission costs in the trade planning phase. If your commission costs are $12, or let's say it's $15, let's just round it up to 15. If your first target on the trade is $25, that makes absolutely no sense. And here's what happens. You plan these trades, and you're not even getting 1-to-1 for your profit loss. You're taking these trades, you're watching your P&L, you get $30 or $40, I'm taking it. Or it goes up to 50 or 60, then it pulls back to 20, or it pulls back to red, and then it bounces back up to 20 or 30, and it looks like it's trying to come back. You take it off. And so here you got 5 or 6 trades, in and out trades, which is 12 tickets. That's going to be, about $70 in commissions and fees. And let's say on these trades you took, you only made, let's say you did make $100. So you green 30, and you take another trade and you lose. What happens to your money? You're going to lose that. Let's say you lose $100. Now you break even on the day, but your P&L shows negative $80 because you had these 6 winning trades that you never let run, that you just took pennies on, and you let one trade run to your stop. You stopped out. And now where are you? Okay, so when you account for your commission costs in the trade planning phase, when you plan your trades, you're going to make sure that you're going to have at least 6 or 7 times your commissions cost. So when I'm looking at a trade, I want to make sure that if my commission cost is going to be $10, I want to at least have $60, $70, $80 for my first cover at a minimum. And that's when I was working with a really small account. Because if you don't account for that, if you don't make that trade plan that's going to allow you to, make good money, one big loss can come along and wipe you out, put you back to break even, and you stuck with a big commission cost bill. So you want to plan for that, and in your trade plan, that's why trade planning is so important, and making sure that you have enough profit potential in that move so that it makes sense to you. You could say, somebody sent me a chart today. Really, the trade plan was great. The trade execution was great, but from where they entered to the first target, which was a level of support, which is how you want to plan your trade, was only 28 cents. So with 100 shares and 28 cents, they only made 28 bucks. You subtract $12 commissions from that, and what do you got? Okay, I didn't mean to rain on your parade, but I want you, I wanted you to understand when you plan these trades, you got to look for bigger moves. If the chart doesn't show a big enough move on to the next one. If you can't find a trade that's going to give you the right risk reward ratio and enough profit potential, don't take the trade. That's why you see me sitting on my hands sometimes. It's not worth it. All right, don't scalp or overtrade. We've already covered that. I told you if you overtrade, you just rack up commission costs. And if you're scalping, you're only taking 20, 25 cent moves. And that's not going to add up. But the thing is, once you become established with your broker, doesn't matter who it is, and you've gained some consistency in your trading, you go and talk to them. They can pull up your trade history. They can look at your account. And if you're showing that you're consistent in what you do and you're disciplined, they're going to work with you. They will be willing to give you some type of break, some type of rebate. Okay, but if you are consistently losing money and you want to blame you losing money on their high commissions and you feel you need to get a break, they're going to laugh you off the phone, because that's not what's causing you to not make money. So I want you guys to understand that commissions, the cost is not so much that you can't make money. The problem is planning the right trade and then executing that plan. You do that, you're going to be great. All right, so let's look at the day. Today is a day I love. This is the type trading that I love. Get in one stock and work it all day. Get in one stock and work it all day. So, and this is kind of what triggered the emails today. It kind of pushed me over the edge, because I'd already had some earlier in the week. So this is why I went on my rant. But 5-minute opening range, we waited for the candle to put in. It sold off. I wasn't going to fall for it. I figured it was going to try to bait people short. And it did. It turned around. Once we got 5-minute opening range high, I got in and rode it up. First target, this first level of support or resistance here. And then second target was halfway between these two levels here. So I got in. I got out here, took some more off here. And then I started feeling a little, had my chest stuck out, feeling pretty good. So I'm thinking we're going to bounce here. We're starting to flag a little bit. You could really see the flag on the 2-minute. And so I got back in. I added. I still had a little, like 25 shares left. So I added. And whenever I add, I'm not going to start it like a new trade. I can't get that in my thick skull. I just can't. So if I add, I move my stop to break even. And because I would rather just take it off and then get back in if it sets up again. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up just taking this off. And this was break even, because all I did was add back and get out at, break even. And then I got back in and ended up making it back to this high and got a pullback, and it worked its way up to the next level. Got a little pullback, worked its way up to the next level. And so I had, a couple of shares left. to see if we were going to continue to move on. But in true Friday fashion, this thing kind of sold off. I wish I would have been here, in front of the computer. I'd have been able to maybe work this a little bit, but it was on autopilot at the time. But this is the trading that I like. The opening range trade, and then we catch the trend continuation, and we work that the rest of the day. I didn't have to go look for any other trades. I didn't have to chase any other stocks. This is ideal, and this is what I like to do. So today, I only traded in 200 share lots because the spread on this was big, like I was explaining, this morning in chat about the spread on this. It was a little bit too big. And look how volatile this thing was. So I'm like, I'm not going to stick my neck out. I'm only going to go in 200 shares. Now here, I could have gone to 400 and been, just as comfortable. But I'm like, this week has not really been ideal. This price action really still feels kind of funky. So I'll just go back with 200 shares and work it. So with 200 shares, we had a net profit of $355.29. Only, 11 tickets. I mean, that's, a lot for me. I try to keep it below 9, but, still not bad. The trade plan I worked out, I let it work. And so I made money. So we locked in $355.29. Add that to our weekly total and we were good to go. So scaling out on 200 shares, doesn't hurt. I want to be in it to catch the whole move, as much of the meat of the move as I can. And as long as I strategically take profit, I'm booking it. So, if something happens, I can quickly get out and I'll lock in my profit. So great day today. And also, these are the exact strategies that I teach. I'm not trading anything different, in this account. Everything that I teach, the way I teach it, I'm trading it. And I'm making sure you understand any little wrinkles that we run into. So I know some of you guys can't pay attention all the time because you're at work. You can't have the volume on, but just know I'm trying. On those days that you can, you'll be able to hear. So I want you to really pay attention. I'm not streaming this just so you can watch me, and me try to impress you. I'm doing this so you can learn from what I'm doing and that I could talk through it so you can understand what's happening. That's the whole point of this. So you want to know if somebody says that they're trading live and they're just calling out or typing out stuff, that's, to me, that's not trading live. If you're going to trade live, you stream your platform live in real time. And you show your entries and exits. That's what trading live is to me. That was another question I had. Just went and answered that. So, where did we end up for the week? We ended up on 1238.94. Excellent recovery. Just below what we did last week. So, really happy for that. Ended up with over $3,000 this month. Nothing to sneeze at. I have no problem with this. No problem at all. I wired out $2,600 earlier today. So I've got a little bit over $5,000. I'm always going to start a little bit over $5,000. But wired out $2,600 this morning before we got the day started. And I'm ready for next week. We're ready to start over. We're ready for the second quarter. and see if we can make that thing, keep on going. For the first quarter, almost 15 grand. And that's not bad. We started trading with a $5,000 account, and we start over with $5 grand every month. Almost $15,000. We're over halfway. Well, we're right at halfway to what we need to open a new brokerage account. If you were going to go, want to open a Lightspeed or Speed Trader or IB, the day trade in, we're about halfway there. Because you don't want to open it with less than 30 grand. So, and we've had our struggles. I mean, you could look at this, we've had our struggles, but what do you see? I managed my risk. Even had a red week in here. All right, so the last thing I want to cover, and this is really, really simple. And I showed a couple people how to do this that really are not computer savvy. And it's really, really simple to track your equity curve. Now, I know you may be just starting, you're on a budget, and you can't add another $50 a month for like a TraderView subscription or another subscription to, this data collecting site or whatever. So you can do it on your own. I'm showing you, and that's why I'm showing you the calendar. You can just take a regular calendar and just track everything, add it up at the end of the week, and you just move the data over here to a spreadsheet, just like I did. Like the first week in January, at the end of the week, we made 161.59. Then the second week, we made 925.73. So that just gets added up, and we just have a running total here. And this is how you get your equity curve. This tells you, what you're doing. Now, if you're just going sideways, there's something wrong with your trading. If you are going sideways and then down, sideways a little bit, then down, and you may come up a little bit. If this is not slowly ticking its way up, you're doing something wrong. And this just figures it out for you. It automatically puts the money up here, and these are the weeks of the year. So the 13th week of the year, we're almost at 15 grand. We've got a really nice equity curve. Here, I did this to show you why you don't want to look at your weekly curve individually. If you look at it like this, you're going to think that there's something wrong with you, and you're going to start trying to figure out and look for things that just aren't there. The market is inconsistent, so your weekly P&L is going to be consistent. It's going to be up and down with the market. Your strategy will be affected by market conditions. It may limit how much money you make. It may prevent you from trading at all because the market's not inviting for your strategy. Whatever the case is, this is not what I like to base anything on, any analysis on. So I did this just to show you the contrast between if you just put in what you make each week, what it looks like on a chart. But if you watch and pay attention to your equity curve, and this should be going up every week. You may have a pullback like I had here. You may have a little pullback on a red week that we had here. But overall, you want it to trend up. And if that's happening, then you're doing your job. So, and this is just a really, really simple Excel thing you can do in Excel. I am not good with using Excel. It's not something I had to use. But you can figure out. And if as dumb as I am, if I could figure this thing out, I'm sure you can. Because it's all it is adding and subtracting. And I can do that pretty good. So when you start factoring things, that's when I get upset. All right, so that's all I want to share with you today. I know it was long, so you can look at part of it now, part of it later, whatever it takes. But I had to get out what I had to get out. So you guys take it easy. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you bright and early Monday morning.